All right, so while you guys are writing this down, let me get started. It says how many students must go on the Spanish club trip to the Mexican restaurant? Oh, that's always fun. As described on page 131, in order for the cost per student to be $10. So there are some costs, and I didn't copy and paste the whole story because I didn't want you guys to have to write the whole story. But basically, we need to figure out the cost per student. Now, we don't know how many students are going, right? Does it tell us how many students are going? No. But the cost per student is 10 times the number of students. We don't know. Whenever we don't know something, what do? We use a variable. So I'm going to say S for students. That equals the cost of the buffet. Well, it doesn't say it here, but in the paragraph above it, it costs $5 per student. And then you have to pay for the bus. So if you guys, whenever a teacher takes you on a field trip, we basically we have to budget for the gas, right? So according to your math textbook, it says $60. Buses are not cheap to drive. In fact, that's a very low price. It's usually, I take kids to Great America, and it's about $100. It can be $200. It depends on the school district. Sometimes the school will chip in and stuff, but you need to budget that. So then, here's the situation. We want to know the total number of students. So we want to make this look like S equals some stuff. So what do you notice? Well, I notice that I have 10S on this side, and I have 5S on this side, and I need to make it look like S equals some stuff. So I need all the S's on one side. So we're going to do something new today that you haven't seen before. I want to move that positive 5S to the other side of the equal sign. How do I do that? Well, if it's a positive 5S, I'm going to subtract it. So here's what I want you to think about. Remember, Mr. Adams has always been explaining everything in every little detail. If I want to make this 5S go away, I can subtract 5S from this. When I do that, that gives me 0. 0 plus 60 is 60, right? Well, whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other. Yep, very good. So then, whoops, I wrote down the wrong thing. You guys are supposed to say, Mr. Adams, that's not right. So I've got to subtract 5S over here. Now, if you're not 100% on how to handle variables, just think in your hand, if I have 10 S's in my hand and I take 5 away, how many do I have left? 5. 5 what? 5 S's. Okay? From here, you guys know what to do. What is the 5 doing to the S? Multiplying. So to move the 5, what do I do? Divide by 5, right? And remember, whatever I do on one side, I got to do on the other. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times S is S. What's 60 divided by 5? If you don't know, grab that yellow calculator in front of you. 60 divided by 5. 12. So now we know that S equals 12, but what does that mean in the context of the problem we just did? It means that you have to have 12 students for the cost to be $10 per student. So you have to have at least 12. I'll leave that up there for a second so you guys can finish writing it down. Let me zoom up a little bit.